Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Horizon TV. This is the Behavior Change Program. My name is Hadija Hussein, a counseling psychologist, and we'll be exploring theories and models of behavior change. So last time we looked at what we mean by behavior change, and we looked at some theories that we can put into place to help us in changing our behavior. So we focused on the self-determination theory that suggests that there's a reason as to why we do what we do. And we also saw that for behavior to be effective, the motivation has to come from within yourself and not from your external surrounding. Also, we noticed that there are some psychological needs that needed to be met for a behavior change to be effective. In today's episode, we will be looking at a different model. This time we will be looking at a model. Last time we looked at a theory. So today's model is known as the trans-theoretical model, also known as the stages of change model. So this model, different from what we discussed last time. So last time was more of why we do what we do. So this model proposes that behavior occurs in stages. So behavior is not an event or like something that can just happen overnight. It takes time, consistency, and effort. So this model suggests different stages that a person goes through for them to change their behavior. So the first stage is known as the pre-contemplation stage. The pre-contemplation stage is the stage where someone does not see the need for them to change. Okay, so this means someone lacks the knowledge or the awareness of how their habits or their behaviors are affecting their daily life. For example, let's say someone who wakes up late. They're used to waking up late, so they might not see the need for them to start waking up early because they haven't really thought of how it's affecting their life. So this stage basically is it's the first stage, but there's nothing happening in this stage because you're not even thinking about change. The second stage is the contemplation stage. So you've moved from the pre-contemplation stage to the contemplation stage. So contemplation, just from the word contemplate, is to now, you're starting now to think. So someone in this stage is beginning to think more deeply about their actions, about their habits, and how it's affecting their life. So the difference between the first and the second stage is that in the first stage, there's lack of awareness of how these habits are affecting your life. But in this second stage, there's more awareness of how your behaviors are affecting your life and what you need to do. So in this stage, someone is weighing things out. So what are the pros of this behavior? What are the cons of this behavior? What happens if I keep doing what I do? What happens if I stop doing what I'm doing currently? So in this stage, it's like the person's mind is more opening up to change. Okay, so they're thinking about what exactly is happening in their life based on their actions and their behaviors. The third stage is a preparation stage. So preparation stage is now where you're not just thinking, but you're planning. It's like, when you have an exam, you have an exam on a specific day. So you start to prepare. So what do I need? I need to read for this unit maybe, or this subject. I need to have all my stationery ready. I need to know the venue of my exam. So basically like preparation. You're not doing the exam yet, but you're preparing all that you need. So the same case in this stage, you're basically preparing. So you've known that habit that is maybe affecting your life in a negative way. So you're trying to prepare, what should I start doing? So I need to start doing this, and this. So you're like putting out a layout for the things you need to start doing for you to change this behavior. And then the fourth stage is now the action stage. So this is where you're implementing the things that you had prepared. So if it was maybe an example, if maybe someone who is smoking, so now you are taking action. Now at this point you're completely you've completely stopped smoking. So action stage is basically you working on the things you had begun to prepare on. And then the last stage is the maintenance stage. So the maintenance stage is a stage where now you maintain the consistency of the actions you've begun. Okay, because behavior change, like we mentioned, does not occur overnight, or that is not an event for it to just happen in a day. You need consistency is much needed. So you need to wake up every single day, show up, and remain consistent with whatever you began doing. So this theory suggests that for someone to change, these are the different stages they will have to go through. And sometimes relapse is also included, because sometimes you might find yourself sleeping and going back to the same old habits. And this is very much okay. Relapse is not failure. So if you sleep and go back to a behavior you had begun, this does not mean you have failed. So this is basically more of like feedback for you. If you sit and reflect after a relapse has occurred, you're more likely to know what went wrong and what you need to change next time for things to be better. So let's have a practical example and see how we can put this model into practice. So let's look at an example of someone who is abusing substances. Let's say someone who's smoking cigarettes and they want to change. How are they going to put this model into practice? Number one, the pre-contemplation stage, and everyone goes through this stage. So when someone is in this stage, they're probably thinking, why should I stop smoking? I mean, I still go to work, or if it's a student, I still go to class, I have the money, everything is just okay, why do I need to change? So in the pre-contemplation stage, they don't see the need for them to change. In the contemplation stage, now they began to think about this behavior or this habit, okay? So they are realizing, I'm spending so much money on buying these cigarettes, I'm spending less time with my family, I've begun missing work a lot, calling in sick most of the time, or missing classes if it's a student. So you begin to think, so what's going to happen if I change? What's going to happen if I stop smoking? So I'll save more money, I'll spend much time with my family, I'll stop missing classes, you know, I'll show up at my workplace as expected of me. And so you're trying to see what are the advantages and the disadvantages. So you're thinking, if I quit, I'm going to miss my friends, because that's like what brings us together. Or maybe that's how I'm used to coping with my stress. So how am I going to be coping with stress moving forward? So this stage, the person is contemplating, what should I do? How is it affecting me, and what do I need to do? So your mind is open to change, and you're basically just thinking about it. In the preparation stage, now you're not just thinking, you're planning. So you've begun to plan, this money that I've been spending on buying cigarettes, I'll channel it into something else. So this money, I'll be doing it, I'll be spending it this way, I'll be doing this with it. You're also at this stage planning, if my friends call me, because I know every weekend maybe we go out with them, then I'll need to start finding excuses to give them. So at this stage you're preparing, this is what I will do, this is what I will do. And then the action stage is now the things where you had prepared, now you start to put them into practice. Okay, so maybe it's end of the month, you've received your salary, there's that portion you used to spend on buying these cigarettes, now you're doing what you said you're going to do with it in the preparation stage. Or now the weekend has come, your friends have invited you over, you already have what reasons or excuses you're going to give them. So action stage is you doing what you had said you're going to do. And then lastly, the maintenance stage. So maintenance stage here means every weekend is the same for you. Not that now because it's in the middle of the month, when they call I can go. No, you are maintaining what you had already begun before. And then relapse is sometimes you might sleep and find yourself hanging out with them, and it triggers you and you find yourself smoking. So this does not mean you have failed and that's over, that you can't quit at all. So this just means it was a sleep, and you can go back. You can go back at any stage again. So this is feedback for you. So next time you know better, and you know my friends are a trigger for me, so I need to do this and this. So reflecting after a relapse gives you feedback on what you need to do better next time. And remember, behavior change is not more of is not perfect. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. So long as you are making progress, you are doing okay, and that's what matters. So basically, this is it about the trans-theoretical model. Or we can also look at another example of let's say someone who struggles with procrastination or arriving to work late. So you might think, so in the pre-contemplation stage, someone might think, everything is okay. I mean, I always go to work every day, so I don't see why I need to. And then the contemplation stage is where now you're beginning to think, this arriving late is like costing me, so before I arrive, settle in and start doing, time has already gone by so fast, so I need to start seeing what I need to do differently. But then you're thinking, oh, so if I'm reporting to work late and I want to change, it means I need to start waking up early. So that means I'm going to miss my hours of sleep or my minutes of sleep. So that means I need to wake up a bit early. In the preparation stage, now you're beginning to say, okay, I can try to do it maybe twice a week. So Mondays, I will try wake up extra early before my normal time, and then prepare or plan myself better. In the action stage, you're now trying to plan yourself much better. Your action stage, you're taking the action now. If you said you'll wake up half an hour earlier than normal, then that's what you're doing. And then maintenance stage means you are maintaining this habit. So every Monday becomes the same for you. You're waking up earlier than normal every single other Monday, so you maintain it. And then relapse might also occur. It's very much possible. So you might find that one Monday you slept and overslept and woke up a bit late, and you're now back to arriving at work late, which is okay. It's very much okay. It just means maybe you need to look back and see what maybe made you sleep in. Maybe you slept late the day before, so that made it hard for you to wake up. So this model suggests that behavior change occurs in stages. It's more of progress and not perfection. So every time you're making progress, that's okay. So we all need to ask ourselves where we are in the stages and see how we can progress moving forward. So in our next episode, we will look at more theories and how we can put them into practice.